The following episode will contain spoilers. You have been warned.
You're listening to Cinema IRL, the podcast that throws you into the movie and asks the question, what would you do? If you ever think your life's weird, wait until you hear Amber and Scott discuss how the Baltimorons turns a chipped tooth into a Christmas romance. And now, Cinema IRL.
I wish I could switch places for just one day.
What would you do?
Put yourself in my shoes.
How do we handle this?
What would you do?
Put yourself in my position.
What would you do?
Now it's your turn.
I'm going to say this. If they ever decide to make an Inside Out 3 and they need someone to play uncomfortable, this guy would be perfect for that.
Really?
Oh, yeah. This was at times really uncomfortable to watch. Like I
really
physically was making, I know I was breathing funny and doing.
You were extremely loud and disruptive during this film. You were making all kinds of grunts and movements and sounds, and I didn't know what was going on with you. As you know, I asked you several times if you were okay. So let's go ahead and dig into this, and you can tell me why you were so disruptive during this film, which is the Baltimorons. After cracking a tooth on Christmas Eve, newly sober Cliff embarks on an adventure through Baltimore with Dee Dee, his emergency dentist. So,
oh, that was actually a reasonable description.
It actually was the first one in a very long time. That was actually refreshing.
Yeah.
So
someone actually watched the movie.
I'm not sure you and I watched the same movie, but why don't you tell me what your issue was?
So sometimes things can just be so ludicrous that you can suspend reality and then it's fine. But this was far from ludicrous. But like the things he was doing were just so uncomfortable.
Well, you keep saying that, and honestly, I don't know what you're talking about. So what was uncomfortable?
You don't talk to a dentist while they're in your mouth trying to do something when they're asking you to not do that.
So he didn't have good dental etiquette?
Well, I mean, it was like that just throughout the movie. It was just one thing after another of just being really uncomfortable and doing things like when he walked her to the party and then he just stood there.
He was standing there to make sure she got in the door okay. That's what every guy should do.
Well, yes.
You don't just drop someone off and then walk away because maybe they couldn't get in. Maybe there was a problem.
While I would mostly agree, considering that this was her ex-husband's house, I would have at least taken a few steps to go a door or two down and look so it's not directly.
That wouldn't have been creepy? Loitering and lurking down the street, that would have been way more bothersome than just waiting to make sure someone got in the door safely.
No, because then you're showing that I'm leaving, but I'm just showing some concern to make sure you actually get in the door. And because it's just really awkward, especially like if the ex-husband were to answer and it's your ex-wife and there's this guy standing out there just watching.
Okay, I'm not sure you and I saw the same film, but let's go ahead and give our listeners a brief overview. So Cliff is a guy who used to be in improv, and he apparently told a guy he wasn't funny, and that escalated in the world that we live in today, and the guy didn't feel safe anymore.
That guy can fuck off.
Yeah, and so Cliff got fired, and then he tried to kill himself, and he has now been 6 months sober. He is engaged to this girl who, I don't know, is kind of a strange relationship because he accidentally chips his tooth when they're going to her mom's house for Christmas Eve, because that's when this takes place. And he accidentally chips his tooth, so he has to go and find a dentist open on Christmas Eve and finds Dee Dee. But when he's communicating with his fiance, probably newly made fiance, she just seems very indifferent, like, oh, we already started eating. Oh, there's no food left. You should take care of that and feed yourself. And I was like, what the heck? So
I think she was pretty pissed to begin with.
He broke his tooth and then his car got towed. I mean, if she's pretty pissed, she's kind of a hag. I mean he's having a really bad day and then you're going to be like, we're eating. Oh, sorry, none left for you. Like, who doesn't save someone a plate? What would I do? I'd save someone a plate on Christmas Eve.
I do completely agree with you on that. But I mean, I think it's one of those situations where they were over at her parents and she seemed lukewarm on the idea of being there anyway. So she wanted her significant other, and then she felt kind of abandoned. Even though, listen, the tooth's more legitimate. The getting towed, that's just stupid. That's just
you're have blood running down your face. You had your front tooth knocked out. You're traumatized, and you finally found a dentist on Christmas Eve. You park your car and you run into the dentist. I mean, good gosh. What you've got some severe hate here. I don't. I just didn't feel that strongly about that. I think that's perfectly reasonable, especially if you're looking at how complicated street signs are nowadays. With you really don't know if you can park or not. But if you're holding a rag up to your face, it's all bloody.
The sign did say literally no stopping.
Yeah, I don't know. If I fell into a house and knocked out my front tooth on Christmas Eve, I don't know if I'd have my wherewithal either.
He just was very awkward in the way he moved and did things. Like even how he busted his tooth was just very awkward. Like semi.
So that's what all the sounds were about throughout the movie, is you cringing over you thinking he was awkward?
I think it's that he is oblivious to his surroundings in general. Like it could be physical surroundings, like what got his tooth busted, or people.
You know, it's funny you should say this because like I was actually thinking he was kind of you.
Yeah, in some ways he is, but if so, he's a gross caricature.
Okay. So long story short, the gist of this film is Cliff and Dee Dee end up hanging out for the rest of the day because his car's towed. She ends up giving him a ride to the lot, the impound lot. There's shenanigans there, capers. Then they end up spending the rest of the day going to different places and doing different things. And Dee Dee's ex-husband actually got married that day and are having that reception that evening. So her daughter, who she thought she was going to spend Christmas Eve with, is now at her ex-husband's house. So they drop in on his house and his new bride, and they just have a whole evening of shenanigans. And he's about 35. How old would you say Dee Dee is?
Oh, Dee Dee.
Maybe 65?
No, I didn't have her that old. I had her maybe late 50s.
Really? Okay.
Roughly.
Okay. So anyway, there's an age difference there. And
mostly based on her daughter and her daughter's daughter.
Okay. So they end up hanging out through the rest of the evening. And one of the things they end up doing is Cliff's fiance, Brittany, is very adamant that he cannot do improv. And I'm sure that there's some sort of other conversation about protecting him from this space and this people that set him down this whole thing of trying to hang himself.
It's alcohol, really. I mean, I think it's all alcohol related in the end because she knows that if he's in and around that situation, he drinks. So he, instead of just saying, just don't drink, also don't put yourself in a situation where you might feel pressured to drink.
So Cliff and Dee Dee end up going to an improv show and are somewhat ostracized because the guy who claimed, I don't feel safe, was there. And he had a very awkward start when a friend called him up on stage, and Dee Dee comes up to try and save him, and they have this moment of connection.
I will say this. I felt really bad for him. Really, really bad for him at that point because that was just generally not cool.
Yeah, his friend says, we have someone in the house, let's welcome Cliff. And Cliff needs a partner, and no one in the crowd will step up. Everyone is awkwardly quiet. They just leave him hanging out to dry, which definitely was indicative of the other guy being in the room.
I mean, not to mention
that got him fired and basically took away his dream of going to the next step to this show, this improv show that he was trying to get on.
Plus, not to mention the fact that it had been at least 6 months since he had done that. And that's one of those skills that you kind of hone as you keep doing it. And if you just jump back in after a long break, you're going to be probably rusty. And he had no idea that he was even going to be going there to be a performer. He was just going there to support his friend and because Dee Dee wanted to go to a comedy show.
Yeah. So, I mean, right here, without going any further in the film, we have a lot of what would you do's. I'm already sensing that your what would you do is you would be less awkward. But
Well-
beyond that, what would you do if, your fiance says, don't go to this show, don't be in this environment, and that somehow you found yourself on a little mini adventure with your dentist who is mostly oblivious to this. And then when you share it with her, then she's like, well, let's go. Let's get over this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I want to share a little more context on this one. Like, the dentist was friendly to a fault, probably, like willing to drive him to the tow lot on Christmas Eve, which, by the way, why would you do that? If you think the buses might not be running because of Christmas Eve, the tow lot's definitely not.
Well, if they're picking up cars, they're dropping them off.
Well, there's inbound. Yeah, they definitely do inbound, but outbound, yeah, you're screwed till the 26th at least. No, but so she's driving him to the tow lot, and he's like, can we take a detour? He detours to his house.
His fiance's.
Yeah. Well, him and his fiance's house.
No, he had his
just-
house that he went to at the end, and the other one was an apartment that was his fiance's.
Okay, well, whatever. He went there specifically to pick up a candy pecan yam casserole, just so Dee Dee could try it. When Dee Dee, mind you, at this point, Dee Dee had made no indication whatsoever that she wanted to do anything more than just help this guy out.
Okay, you're leaving out context here. Dee Dee was hungry when she was at the office working on his tooth. She was looking for snacks, and she was upset that everyone always steals her snacks. So while they were out, he said, I need to make the pit stop, went to his girlfriend's house, which was the house that they left from, went in and got the sweet potato casserole with candied yams and marshmallows that he had made, and said, here, eat this. I know you're hungry. So a very different experience than what you just described.
But, I mean...
You just, for whatever reason, have a lot of disdain for this movie, and I'm not really sure why.
I didn't have disdain for the movie at all, actually. I thought it was a good movie. I'm just saying that the character was very awkward. Like, I
liked him.
You don't go to the dentist that you've just met and who is nice enough to
what would you do is you wouldn't...
To give you a ride, you divert her further out of her way to have her try your candied yams.
To feed her because she's hungry.
And by the way, when you try to feed her and she says, no, thank you, a couple times, here comes the choo-choo. That, I'm sorry, I would be appalled if I was Dee Dee in that situation.
Okay, also keep in context who this person is. He is someone who does improv for a living,
but
is used to being silly, doesn't have a normal job, and this is his personality.
I get that, but Dee Dee didn't know any of that. To me, or to Dee Dee, she's got to be thinking, what the hell is up with this freak? I mean, no, seriously, I'd be mad.
So what would you do is, what the heck is up with this freak?
Well, no, there were so many times that he was forcing himself onto her. Taking you to dinner, I won't accept no. And she says no several times.
Yes, but she had also said no earlier in the film, and then they did it anyway. So her no at that point didn't really obviously mean no.
So
yes, no, obviously it's dinner.
Tell me how a girl's no doesn't mean no.
Okay.
Please.
Obviously, context here matters. It was talking about going out to get something to eat because they had been out all day fixing his problems. And she had gotten news that her husband had gotten married. There was a reception. She got robbed of the plan she was going to have with her daughter and grandchild. And he knew all of this and was trying to show her appreciation for fixing his tooth on Christmas Eve and taking him to the impound lot and actually getting him out of the impound lot when he was accidentally locked in. So they had been through a lot. He was trying to be appreciative.
I mean,
yes, he was a quirky personality, but I think people in that profession probably are.
Yes, they do. But you have to have enough self-awareness to know, like, when you're a little bit too much. And he wasn't a little bit too much. He was a lot bit too much. Now,
according to you,
it happened to work out that because of everything that Dee Dee was going through, that it worked for her, but I think if you put this in real life and you actually deal with like a real life, because mind you, you don't really, these people aren't people who know each other. They met at the time that he came in for emergency dental.
Yeah, it's not his normal dentist.
Yeah,
and she was the only person who would see him on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, so like you can't treat someone you don't know who is doing you
so what I'm hearing
a massive number of favors.
Don't be yourself is what I'm hearing.
Yes, actually, yes. Like there are times that you that you should suppress that personality, and because I know I'm a jokester, I am the type of person who would do that, but not in that situation.
I mean, that was the whole point of the film, though, is because he was pushing her outside of her comfort level, that he was trying to brighten her day because he had overheard about this whole ex-husband getting married and the party and whatnot, that it's because he was the way he was that he actually cracked the shell on someone who was actually kind of a hard ass at the beginning of the film. And by the end of the film, she's happy and she's having a good time. And it's because he was how he was.
I think it's perfectly fine for her to be a hard ass. She is coming in.
Hard ass, less uncomfortable.
She's coming into work on Christmas Eve to help someone she doesn't know.
Because she is a self-admitted workaholic.
Yes, but I don't think she was standing by the phone. Like, she'd rather be spending time with her family.
Well, which already was not there, and then said they couldn't come because they were going to the ex-husband's dad's bridal celebration, wedding celebration. So she wasn't with family.
And then you get this patient who is like 35 going on 6 in the dental chair. Matter of fact, probably 35 going on 5.
Yeah.
So it's like he was a horrible patient to begin with, and
he was also under some good dental meds there towards the end.
Eventually, he was under nitrous, but at the beginning, like even in the beginning, he was a pain in the ass. I know what that looks like because I used to be that level of a pain in the ass.
Used to be?
Oh, well, no. Yeah, I used to really, really, really not like the needles and stuff like that. Like, I still...
Oh, you just mean as a dental patient, not as a way of life.
Yeah. Like, yes, no. Yeah. I mean, I remember once that when I was younger, they had to put me under nitrous because they couldn't get anything else. And I don't remember what the dentist said, but I do remember them saying something to the extent of, not directly to me, I think to somebody else, that this patient's a real pain in the ass.
Well, and admittedly, he starts off as saying, do we have to use needles? Can we not use the needles? I'm afraid of needles. So, I mean, a lot of people have fear around the dentist for sure.
But, I mean, even the numbing, the topical. I mean, yes, I get the dental fear, but...
I mean, you have a lot of dental fear.
Yeah, but I'm also not calling someone on Christmas Eve and trying to get them to come in.
You would? What do you mean? At least you're not. Well, let's see if you push your face into a building on Christmas Eve, and if you just be like, I don't want to disturb anybody, I'll sit here in pain.
Yes, I'm fine with the fact that he did it, but if you're going to do that, you just have to suck it up and be a good patient so that this procedure can get done as quickly as possible. A, so you can get back to your fiance, and B, so you don't take up any more of the doctor's time than you need to on Christmas Eve.
Okay, so what would you do is you would have more dental etiquette.
I would have more etiquette.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't matter if it's a dentist. It matters any service provider. Like, they're doing him a huge favor. So, but yes, eventually, because this is a movie, Dee Dee does warm up to him considerably. Like, it actually was almost like a switch got flipped in her.
I don't know. I mean, I saw it progressive over experiences in time.
Yeah, she got a little, and then all of a sudden it was like, boom, she's very friendly. I mean, it wasn't wrong. It was just she saw something at some point that flipped that switch.
Yeah, I know exactly what it was because I was watching the film. Is because he wound up going to the party with her at her ex-husband's and kind of played her up as her ex-husband was dismissing her of like, here's my new wife and, my stupid old wife. And he was like, oh yeah, no, they were sports fans. And Cliff said, oh, well, yeah, Dee Dee's the dentist who, your favorite player, and was playing her up and did this whole thing. And that's what won her over. It wasn't just a switch. And if it was a switch, that was it, is basically him playing her up to her ex-husband because she was already feeling kind of bad because her favorite day of the year is Christmas Eve. And he went and got married to someone new and younger on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
I just think you and I had very different experiences with this film.
Listen, maybe, as you know, I am a football guy. So when I thought that the prank he played on the ex-husband and his new wife was actually rather cruel, because those tickets that he's talking about, I guarantee you, were week 18 tickets. And if that game... No, it was. If it's New Year's...
I know you're doing the math on when the game started.
I don't have to do math. If it's a New Year's game, it is week 18, which is like... and more than likely, I mean, Baltimore Steelers against the... or Baltimore Steelers, wow. Pittsburgh Steelers against the Baltimore Ravens. That is a legit rivalry.
Yeah, what the joke included for listeners who might not have seen the film yet is in Cliff's defense and pumping up of Dee Dee to her ex-husband Conway. He basically says, oh, I work for the Ravens. I can get you tickets, consider them free as, my wedding gift to you. And I did think that was unfair to the new wife, because the new wife really hadn't done anything and she seemed perfectly nice. I know they were trying to, put Conway in his place because he was being a jerk. So it was unfortunate that his new wife was collateral damage in that. But I think it was just a matter of him trying to step up and shut down Conway, who seemed to be a piece of work.
Oh, yeah. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not loving Conway, but I can just tell you, like, as a sports fan, and you could tell that he was a sports fan. She was a big sports fan.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that was just a ruse. Cliff did not have any connection, could not get them free tickets, and it was just
I mean, you're at their house, at their party, and you do that to them. It's just, again, it's more that whole social etiquette. And listen, I get it. You're on Dee Dee's side, and clearly, but you can be on someone's side and not pull a really cruel prank. Like, I honestly saw it as very cruel, especially to the new wife, who was clearly like over the moon excited at this. So, again, this doesn't mean I didn't like the film. I thought it was a good film. But this is admittedly an extremely layered character who, near the end, definitely showed a very, very different side of himself. But I did notice one thing.
What do you mean a different side of himself?
Like, he actually was able to be more heartfelt and genuine in a way. Like, not to say that he was disingenuous before, because I don't think he was disingenuous, but like he was able to be genuine in a way that could be easily seen by others, including the person he had just met that day. But it did remind me, let me tell you, as a guy who has dated more than he likes, the one thing, and I think you'll even agree to this a little bit, since, we, once upon a time, we're doing that whole dating thing. Mind you, we're still married, but the quickest way to get a girl is to make her laugh. And that's nearly universal. Now, that's not the way to keep a girl, but if you want to have a good first date, make them laugh. You do that, you're good. But when they later find out that you're a total screw up, yeah, maybe not so much. I mean, and to take this serious for a moment, I mean, the movie basically opened and nearly closed with scenes, the first time of him actually attempting suicide and failing because the belt broke. And the second time, him going back and thinking about that. And I get it.
I don't think he was thinking about that.
The second time?
He didn't. No, I don't believe he went back to, it was something he did in his attic and the chair fell and the belt broke and it was still like that from when he had tried around 6 months earlier. I don't think he went up there to think about that. I don't know where you got that from.
Absolutely, I think he did. He basically...
So he had this great fun night and then he goes home in the morning to think about killing himself? What film did you watch?
He got... No. He got rejected by his fiance because of what he did. And
what do you mean he got rejected?
well, she was like, I'm going to stay at my mom's.
Okay, I don't
like that's basically a pre-breakup. You might not break up, but
okay, you're forgetting context. There is he and Dee Dee had taken Conway's boat because at this point Dee Dee's just having a great time with all of this and screwing Conway and whatever, and they're on a boat. And Cliff's fiance, Brittany, sees on the tracker that he's on the water / in the water and thinks that he has killed himself and is floating in the water. So she gets there. She realizes he's not dead. She realizes that he's just kind of playing hooky with the dentist. And she's angry and she says, I'm going to sleep at my mom's house. So there's important context there.
Yeah, well, if I'm her and I see that on the tracker, I'm thinking... either he's dead or I'm going to kill him. One of the two. Because that's a really hard one to explain away. That on Christmas Eve when you're supposed to be back with your fiance and that group.
But she said, I'm going to bed. Like she actually was kind of a hag. Like there's no food left. You should get some food for yourself before you come back to my mom's. Oh, I'm going to bed now. It's like, as for what she knew at that point, he had a rough day and she wasn't making it any better.
I mean, I could tell real quickly that the reason that they were together was because she accepted him.
Oh, I don't think so at all. She was trying to make him be a mortgage broker and be a grown-up and have a different job and stay out of the stuff that he actually really liked to do. I don't think she was letting him be himself at all. And I think that's probably why he gravitated to Dee Dee, is because he had been suppressing a part of himself because his fiance wanted to have a normal life and a normal marriage. And that's why he was taking a test to be a broker or a mortgage lender. Sorry, mortgage lender.
He's a chameleon. I get that because I'm a chameleon. You do what you need to in the relationship to be the person that the other person wants you to be. Now, there is a line there. It's okay to do that as long as you don't become somebody you don't want to be. And it does feel like that line was definitely being crossed a little bit.
Well, I mean, this started because you said he was probably with her because she let him be himself.
And I said she accepted him. And
I don't know about
basically
that. You and I have very different experiences.
By accepted, it means she didn't break up with him.
Well, yeah, because he was taking a test to be a mortgage blender.
Yeah, he was becoming the person that she was okay with being with.
So anyway, final thoughts on the Baltimorons.
Well,
don't be awkward and weird is what I'm...
Don't be awkward and weird, but also don't sleep with your new dentist.
I don't know that they slept together.
Are you kidding? She woke up basically naked, looking over on the pillow to see if he was there.
She didn't.
Oh, fooled around. He said fooled around, and that, I think, highly implied that they...
I don't know what they did. I wasn't there.
Again, they show you a shot of her in the morning. She's there, clearly not wearing anything up top, and she looked...
I don't know. The other side of the bed looked made to me.
That's not okay. You know my opinions on that. That's not okay. Even if you're having a fight or whatever, if you're not broken up, you're not broken up, and you don't go find someone to get under to get over someone. Like it wasn't cool on either of their parts.
Well, she
honestly.
did say in the morning, like you have a situation that you need to go deal with.
That's
your
fiance. The other rejection, which we didn't get to. He got rejected by the fiance at night, and then he felt like that was a rejection in the morning. So in his mind, Because again, I do understand this. He was like, rejection. And he was probably overwhelmed at that point. It was like, I'm just a complete screw up here. Like maybe he was seriously thinking about it. Maybe he wasn't. He seemed like he was seriously thinking about it. I don't know if he for sure was going to grab the belt, but he went up and looked at that thing and like it was on his mind.
I disagree.
We'll find the Duplessis and see what they say.
Duplessis!
We hope you enjoyed our episode. Thank you for listening. And to catch all the new episodes, please subscribe. We release 2 to 3 episodes weekly, so we'll have new content regularly. Until next time.